What is that thing you're doing?
It's technical. It's when we're a little tired. Something is different.
Good friend.
Anything different is good.
Go ahead. Your bus is leaving.
Backhouse man. I'm a scientist.
What's always a question of good? You always think about the bad.
I just have a feeling that something is wrong.
Good things do happen.
Make it Centauri time.
Hello and welcome to Groundhog Jungle. This is episode 13. My name is Alex Hillman.
And I am Matthew Fleming.
And today we are talking about Nothing Lasts Forever.
Which sounds like a Bond song.
Yes,
It sounds like a Bond...
It sounds like a Bond film and song.
Yeah, because it's diamonds
Are Forever.
mixed with, I don't know, maybe nothing, but, well, absolutely nothing. Because the word nothing.
No, I was going to say never again, but that definitely doesn't work because that doesn't contain the word nothing.
Yeah. Can I just say, before we start here, I was watching the Graham North show a couple of weeks ago, and I realised that I just subconsciously now link everybody to Bill Murray in that 6 degrees of separation, like Kevin Bacon thing.
Yes, were you watching the episode with Rowan Atkinson?
Yes. So, well, okay.
We could also plugging Johnny English through.
Yes. So how do you go Rowan Atkinson to Bill Murray? You can do it very easily.
How many films are we talking linking-wise?
You're literally talking 2 steps.
I can do it. I can do it. Probably not what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Rowan Atkinson was in Hot Shots Part 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Charlie Sheen was in Hot
yeah.
Shots Part 2. Charlie Sheen was in The World According to Charles Swan III.
That's what I did. Now, Jamie Lee Curtis, I
Yeah.
found there were 2 really good ways into this.
Okay. Again, using 2 films?
Try to do it in 2 if you can. I can, yeah.
Okay, let's think. Jamie Lee Curtis. So I'm thinking famous films.
Actually, I thought of a third one now.
Now, have they shared a film? I don't think they have. Let's think what she's been in. Jamie Lee Curtis. I haven't seen as many Jamie Lee Curtis films, so that might be a struggle. Well, we could go down the Halloween route. Maybe not the first one, but Resurrection or H2O have got quite a few famous people in. Is that going to work? Not sure it is. Or wasn't she in True Lies?
Yeah, I tried going the True Lies one. The True Lies one might work, but I think it's harder. I could do it, but I think not in 2.
I don't know if I can do Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, Jamie Lee Curtis was in Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd. So that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
Also, her husband is Christopher Guest, and he was in Little Shop of Horrors.
Hang on. That doesn't work.
No, but it sort of does. No?
No, it doesn't.
She must have been in stuff with... Okay, maybe
can't
if you're
just
not letting me
link
have
spouses.
that one. Okay. But it's
got
alright,
to be
because I've already got one.
professional
And the
Yeah.
new Halloween film is co-written by Danny McBride, who has been in at least 2 things with...
No,
you're not letting me have that either.
Well, it's got to be acted, isn't it?
No, it's connections, isn't it? That's
Is
my
it?
Gary Barlow one doesn't work.
Well, that's like saying Jamie Lee Curtis went to the 1987 Oscars.
Yeah, but I was
Tom
proud
Cruise.
that I did. I was proud that I managed to connect Gary Barlow, as he was on the Graham Norton show as well.
Okay. Tenuous.
It is tenuous.
But then, I don't know.
See, you don't need to worry about not having much to say about Nothing Lasts Forever, because it's a couple of minutes in,
Yeah.
and we've already
I'm
not
glad that
even
they
mentioned
know
it.
I don't have much to say on it, though.
Oh, no, they don't. No, we haven't. No, you're going to... Okay.
That's right. So we watched Nothing Lasts Forever a few years ago now, and much as I enjoyed it, and I really did enjoy it, it has unfortunately failed to stick in my mind. Now, I wonder if... I slightly wonder... Very, very slightly if I've got very early onset Alzheimer's.
No, you don't.
Because I just worry about how little I remember of some of these films.
Right, in a second, why don't you give us an impression of sort of what you can remember? But let's...
Well, that'd be entertaining in itself.
Let's contextualise this film. This is a film that came out in 1984. It was... It was filmed after Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But it wasn't filmed... it was filmed after Ghostbusters because Zach Galligan is the star of it. And he was on the set of Ghostbusters, I think, when they go to the library scene. Him and a bunch of friends were like, hey, it's Bill Murray. And then a few weeks or months later, he was acting with him. So it was filmed before and released after. Filmed after and released after.
This is a film of favours being done for people because Bill Murray did a favour for Zach Galligan by shooing him into this film.
I suppose. I don't know how that happened. I suppose that is how it happened.
Possibly. I mean, I might be, joining a few things that shouldn't be joined together, but obviously he took a shine to him, possibly during that scene, that situation you just described, and also, of course, Tom Schiller?
Thomas Schiller, yeah.
A lot of people in this film, e.g. Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray, there's a very good chance they appeared in this film as a bit of a favour to an old friend.
It's a combination of favour, and that's what producers were looking for. So I was looking this up today. I was rereading bits of a book I've got on the subject called Nothing Lost Forever by Michael Streeter. Michael Streeter, if you're listening, I assume you're still alive. This is a very good... Hello. This is a very good book. It's great. It's an obscure book because Tom Schiller is an obscure director. This is the only mainstream film he's ever directed. He was... a director and contributor towards Saturday Night Live, but he was, in the Mr. Mike vein, a very sort of odd contributor. He wasn't mainstream, he came up with some odd ideas, he did some experimental bits.
I do wonder how many people have read this book, because
Yeah.
it's incredibly precise.
Yes, it's really precise, it's really sort of well put together, but I mean, I can't imagine anyone in the world's ever read... Sorry, Michael Street, it is good. But
I'm sure people have read it.
But not many people have seen the film, so it's a book primarily about a film that hardly anyone has seen.
But I suspect, as with the Pisha,
Yeah.
more people have seen it maybe than we realise. I mean, there are 7 billion people in the world, so
Yeah.
so I'm hoping it might at least reach the double figures.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? Well, we know that some people have seen it, and we'll talk about the release and stuff in a second. So basically, all studios were looking for the next big Saturday Night Live thing. Many sort of Saturday Night Live producers were working on different projects, and they were all sort of pitching them to the cast, even though lots of the cast weren't there anymore. You know, hey, Aykroyd appear in this, hey, whatever. So they were in high demand, as we know. And there was this big project being touted at the time called 1985, which was a spoof of 1984. It was going to be like a sci-fi thing. It was being pitched at the same time as Ghostbusters, but they'd already been wrapping that and working on that and in pre-production with that. So that was where everyone was going to go, but it just, the budget, something happened with it. Everyone was excited about it, but no, what was it? The budget hadn't been worked out to MGM's satisfaction, so it didn't happen. But so they had a slot in their slate for a film, and they they couldn't go ahead with that film. The only one who had anything close to a script was Tom Schiller, who actually had a lot more than that. He'd storyboarded it, he'd done everything, and even though it's probably not the sort of film they would have liked to have put out at that time, they went
had
straight into
everything.
production.
Yeah, everything was there ready.
Because
So-
he's an auteur, isn't he? He's a Tarantino. This guy's attention to detail. There's a scene where there's loads of people running around a square, but it's actually ants, isn't it? Filmed from a height.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this. I have to say that I think this film's probably captured your sense of creativity and imagination.
I really liked it.
To quite a degree, and you did really like it. I also liked it as well. There's not really any explanation for it having slipped out of my mind. And the more I reread your review, the more I kind of am reminded of different aspects of the film. As you say, I think you perfectly summed it up in that this is Tom Schiller's film. I mean, it's a bit like... it's not a vanity project. It is a proper film in the sense that he is a creative. He's found an opportunity. He's got all the connections. He's made a film. I think it's really sad that it's not better known, because there's all sorts of films like The Never-Ending Story and other fantasy films of a similar sort of era that are much better known, but are not as well known. And like you say in the review, if you see the review online, it very much is a film that could have been made into a children's film, I think, because of some of the themes around it, and apart from the fact that it's got tits in it.
I think it has, doesn't it? I think
you could have cut that out, and it could easily be a children's film.
There's quite a lot of films like that, isn't there? We were watching the other day, and I thought, I was reading Neil Gaiman's Stardust, and have you seen the film of that?
I haven't, no.
No, but it's a kids' film, really. But the book is an adult's book, really, and there's sex in it and things. And I was thinking, it's a shame because
you could widen your audience if you just took out that sex scene.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like that with this film. Lots of unusual people in this film.
Yeah.
Obviously Bill Murray.
Dan Aykroyd is in it, but he's got a very short scene, I think, as some sort of subway driver or something.
Yeah. Isn't he a underground...
some sort of maintenance... maybe.
But
for the first time,
which makes
we'll see Ghostbusters 2 for a time where he performs a similar function.
It sort of makes sense, because he very much looks like a blue collar worker, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
He doesn't really look like an actor.
No, which maybe is to his credit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But so a few people, obviously Zach Gallagher, who went on to star in Gremlins very soon after this.
Yeah, it must have been quite soon afterwards, wasn't it?
I must make a correction, by the way. Last week I said that Spaceballs came before Ghostbusters, but it didn't. Anyway, I'm just putting that in there.
Some people
3 years later.
Did it?
Yeah.
This is a dystopian film about.
There's also
sort
Lauren
of-
Tom from Friends.
Lauren Tom from Friends is in it.
Yeah.
This is not her first Bill. Well, it is her first Bill Murray film. It's not her only one. She
No.
appears about a decade later in a film 14 years later in a film we'll talk about later called With Friends Like These. Can't
Yes.
wait to talk about that one.
Yeah, which has got other Friends connections, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Joey's dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is the only sort of thing you'd associate that actor with, other than With Friends Like These,
Yeah.
which no one's ever seen.
No, actually, Joey's dad was also in the Bruce Willis Elijah Wood movie North, where Bruce Willis keeps popping up in Elijah Wood's life in a lot of different guises.
One of them being a rabbit.
A giant rabbit. Yeah. Well, you've seen it too.
No, it's a famous film because it was slated by Roger Ebert.
Oh, right.
Who, it's his most famous review. He said,
it?
I hated this film.
I thought it was okay,
Oh.
but I was quite young when I saw it.
Yeah,
probably
it's
thought-
definitely not well regarded.
No, okay.
I think it's regarded as pretentious. And,
Yeah, it's about a boy who tries to divorce his parents.
Yeah,
But that's quite pretentious.
That doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Directed by Rob Reiner, I think.
Rob Reiner,
who's,
wasn't it?
who's quite well known and
Yeah,
did
he's-
like Ed TV and stuff like that, and much more famous films than that.
And Harry Met Sally, I want to say.
I think so. Yeah.
He's also an actor.
Yes, because he was also in Ed TV.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
We're digressing.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about this film, it's in black and white, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. It's Bill Murray's first foray into black and white.
But not last.
But not last, no. And it's there are some colour bits, I think. Maybe is there
Yes.
a bit where it erupts into
I
colour?
think you mentioned in the review that there is a bit where it erupts into colour, and I didn't notice it erupts into colour until about 5 minutes in.
Yes, I think, didn't I say something like, oh, right, so this is a great idea, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
what they've done. And you went, what?
Yeah, didn't notice. I just didn't notice. But I think that's to his credit.
We might have had a bit of a dodgy TV then as well.
Maybe, yeah.
We
yeah.
were watching this on the Wii, weren't we? Because didn't we
Quite
have to get this
possibly.
online? Because it's on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And you can get YouTube through the Wii,
Yeah.
can't you?
So this is a film about a guy who sort of goes on a journey, and in the end he goes to the moon, and it's very sort of slapdash in its sort of the way in which the narrative beats are tied up. But Zach Galligan, who's this guy, I think he's dreaming at the beginning, he's playing a piano to a crowd, and then it turns out it's a player piano, it's not a real piano.
Yeah.
And then maybe he wakes up and he's fallen asleep, he wakes up on a train, and some guy says to him, you're going to make something of your life, or something similar. And apparently Tom Schiller was really told that in when he was going to Sweden or something by a guy, and so he put that in there.
Yeah.
And
Well, he
then
hasn't really, has he?
no, it's a shame. I watched an interview of him on YouTube the other day. He's still very sparkly. He's a very twinkly-eyed guy, and he's very enthusiastic about things. And he has directed mostly commercials. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's done stuff that he's pleased with.
Yeah.
It's just, well, what happened with this is it wasn't. Well, here's what happened with this. I put a page in the appropriate thing. There are many theories. I'm quoting directly now from Michael Streeter. That's not illegal, is it? Are we allowed to?
No,
I'll paraphrase.
not now you've said.
Okay. There are many theories why Nothing Lasts Forever was not released. Technically, it was released, which is obviously why we are able to review it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Bill Murray on IMDb for many years had a film called Boo, which is an animated film, which seems to appear and disappear with alarming frequency.
And it's been on...
If it
it's
pops
been
back
on-
up and gets
it's
released, we'll watch it. But
it's-
obviously, we can't watch it until it's released.
It's been on IMDb pretty much since we've been doing this project, and it's never been made or released, as far as
No.
we're aware.
So this could not have been released. It technically was released, I think, in about one theatre in... we had a short... Seattle, well done.
Yeah.
That's good. In 1984.
Yeah.
They gave lots of reasons. They said music rights, because popular music couldn't be cleared for it. Bill Murray tells a story about one of the producers, Lorna Michaels, in a limousine that is something to do with... the movie studio that was releasing it, MGM, in the limousine on the way home. He didn't know one of the people that was in the cars with the studio, and then they made a decision then not to release the movie. He says it's true. It isn't, apparently, according to everybody else other than Bill Murray. There are lots of reasons. No one really knows. Michael Streeter says he doesn't know, and no one really knows. Basically, there's a guy called Boaty Boatwright that's involved in this film, and I don't know.
Boaty Boatwright?
Yeah. Anyway, basically, I think pretty much when everyone found out it wasn't going to be a laugh a minute Saturday Night Live spin-off of Speedballs, everyone sort of like had this massive shrug, I guess, and just gave up, and they shouldn't, because what this film is really charming. I do love it. I think I probably love it more than the mark I gave it. But
which is still a very high mark.
Which is still a very high mark, but I really sort of took it to my heart, and I haven't watched it since, but I have a remarkable fondness of it. I think it's lovely. I think it's charming. I think it's winning. I think it's not out to hurt anybody. Bill Murray pops up as a bus conductor with a difference, because it's a bus that goes to the moon.
And he's relatively villainous, isn't he?
Is it a first villainous role, is it?
Yes.
I suppose Caddyshack maybe, but he's not really a villain, is he?
No. But in this,
he's an antagonist, but not a villain.
I think he's sort of a villain in this, but again, he's not an out-and-out villain, really, because he can't really do out-and-out villainy, even when he is one.
Yes.
There's only maybe one example of that.
Yeah. And that's a film I love.
Yeah.
Mad Dog Glory. Maybe is that what you were thinking of?
No.
No? Oh, you're thinking of City of Ember.
No.
Okay, you're thinking of... No,
Okay,
we won't give spoilers to other...
But he's sort of quite an effete villain in this, and he doesn't really give it his all in a deliberate way, and he's quite funny. There's a moment, I think, where he slaps Zach Galligan and then apologises for it afterwards.
Yeah, immediately. As part of the slap, it's backward...
Which is funny. And there are elements of funny, of humour in it, and it's quite whimsical. It's a really lovely film. I would show this to my children if I could cut out that one specific scene, which definitely doesn't need to be there.
No, but I suppose it's there maybe because do you remember when we were speaking about... Oh, what film was it we're speaking about? And I was saying, maybe was it Stripes? That in every Saturday Night Live spin-off movie, there has to be an adult content because it's a late-night show. Yeah. People have expected a certain level of humour, so that will get... They probably put things like that in the trailer. I mean, maybe not the actual breast, but, a sign.
Maybe the whole film's there to appeal to, potheads or drunks.
Maybe, but it shouldn't because it's
psychedelic.
It's deeper than that. Lauren Tom is the love interest who maybe comes from the moon. I can't remember. A lot of details of this film are hazy to me as well. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, there's a really promising romance between Zach Galligan and Lauren Tom, which is really sweet. I think Lauren Tom was very young at this point. Oh, well, they both were. Yeah. Very young at this point because she was
10 years off appearing in Friends, wasn't she? 11.
Yes. Yeah. 11, I think. Yeah. And so let's say she's 30 in Friends, that would make her about 19 or something. And I think she probably was very young, around that sort of age.
Yeah.
Zach Galligan, again, young. Everyone likes Zach Galligan because he just looks like sort of everyone's son, really. He's very charming in it. And
got nice hair in this,
nice hair. He looks cool. I think one of the points you make in the review is that it hasn't aged at all, really. You watch it now... And you could be watching a film that was made yesterday. Yeah. It's and that's partly because there's so many references in it to bygone eras that could still be referenced in a film now. Like watching The Artist, for example.
That's right. He was making a film that's set in the future, but it feels more like the past, doesn't it? In a lot
because
of
the
ways,
way it's shot and the costumes mostly and the acting style. But the other thing I would say about it is it could easily be a musical. I watch it and I think you could add music to this. It could be a lovely musical. It's very short. It's only about 80 minutes long, and that's the internet cut, isn't it? I think, according to your review. You can tell I've read your review.
Yeah, thank you for reading it. And every year, I think Thomas Schiller hires out some sort of cinema, and it has lots of people come around and they watch it. They have a viewing every year. I assume that still happens. Sometimes, if you go there, Bill Murray turns up. Sometimes other cast members do. People who were involved in it seem to love it. Everyone who's seen it, I assume, sort of has a certain fondness for it, except no one's really seen it. And it's a shame. If you do listen to these reviews and you do ever want to watch a film you've never watched before, this is the first one so far, I think, of the obscure films that I'd really wholeheartedly recommend.
Apart from, it depends if you count Where the Buffalo Roam as an obscure film. This is much more obscure, I think.
Yeah, this is more obscure, but for me, this is more...
Better.
This is more... Yeah, it's better.
Bad grammar. More better.
This is more better, yeah. No, it is. It is.
It is marginally better. I generally preferred it, and I think it's a bit more charming than Where the Buffalo Roam.
But then Where the Buffalo Roam isn't trying to be charming, I think, is it?
No, I suppose not.
I don't know what this is trying to be, actually. That's the point. I mean, whimsical. I love this. It is whimsical. And it's a different... He's in a bit of a whimsy era here, isn't he? There's this. There's Razor's Edge, which we'll talk about in a minute. I can't wait for that. Yeah. And there's lots of whimsy. I mean, Little Shop of Horrors. If you don't apply the adjective whimsical to that, I don't know what you do. I mean, it's a pure dream of whimsy, isn't it?
Yes, and we'll be looking forward to that next.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get it on Saturday, probably. It's the following one.
Oh, yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it.
You will get it.
Do you remember when people used to say that at school? She'll get it. She'll get it. What did they mean? I mean, I know what they meant, But what
Well,
did they...
collective peni, wasn't it?
Was it collective peni, was it?
Yeah, I mean, peni is not a word. I just.
It really should be.
It should be, because the
Penis is
the plural of focus is foci, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no one ever says that apart from my boss.
Well, no one ever says criterion.
No, but that is one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when do you have one criterion? It's usually criteria, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's a bullet point, isn't it? Criterion is a bullet point.
Yes.
And criteria is several.
I mean, it's the
Really?
IAON. Oh no, but foci and focus is USI. It's like octopus and octopi.
It is.
Yeah.
If you listen to this and you're American, you won't have a lot of these errors because you are better at spelling. You just simply are. You spell it phonetically. They are, though, right?
Are they?
Yes.
How?
Because they spell things the way they're said, which is more honest.
Well, if that's true, then colour would be pronounced color.
It more is. Well, you don't pronounce a U in it. Color.
Colour.
I think that's more honest.
We pronounce it as it's spelt, though. No, we don't. It'd be collar then.
Yeah.
But I don't see why one's better than the other.
No. Well, we can have that fight later. Or
Okay.
argument. Or gentle argument. It'll just be more like, oh, okay. And then we'll just give up on it.
Yeah.
This has been Nothing Lasts Forever, which is, I recommend it. I think it's a lovely film. I wish that Tom should have gone on to do more. It just hasn't happened. It's a shame. That makes me feel a little bit sad, but it's not the only good film that Bill Murray released in 1984.
No. We'll say cheerio for now.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.